Your sport is having a moment.
It's our time in the sun, baby. It's our time to shine. Everybody's a hockey fan tonight.
Where's Barry Melrose?
Well.
Too soon.
Way too soon.
What? One of the best names associated with the coverage of hockey ever. I miss him.
Oh, I miss him
We
too.
all miss Melrose,
we all miss
man.
him too,
we all miss Melrose.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to say anything bad.
No, I know. I think he'd be there if he could.
Yeah.
It's a lot of his control right there. But hockey's having a little moment. The Four Nations final.
Let's go, baby.
We're going to Boston for the ticker today.
An exhibition that nobody cared about when it was announced now has captivated an entire country.
You are...
it is pretty funny to me to see how this is all played out. I was excited to watch this stuff when it all began, and to see kind of the storm that it's built into going into tonight is pretty funny.
I didn't know this was even happening until the day of the first game, and you and Swagger are like, yeah, this Four Nations tournament, Sprague, are you going to watch? And I'm like, why would I watch?
Yeah.
And then they won, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
They played Canada. I was like, wow.
Oh.
All righty.
We got a lot of fights all of a sudden.
Look, it is a made-up tournament that didn't exist prior to this year.
Nope.
It's a way to basically make people care during the All-Star break.
Yes, it is.
What I find interesting is this tournament not meaning a single thing. USA could win today, and not anything happens in international landscape other than talking bragging rights.
Legacies are on the line tonight. How dare you?
But they're not, because it actually doesn't mean anything when they win other than like, we won of the Four Nations.
Yeah, it's not an Olympic gold medal.
But I am finding a lot of the noise around this to be hyped to the level of USA Russia as Dirt wears his Believe in Miracles jersey. And I love it. I'm not mad. I don't begrudge anybody for being excited about tonight, because I'm not even a hockey guy and I'm going to watch this thing. But it is funny that this is a completely made-up thing with no real stakes other than let's beat the country that booed our anthem and they always beat us in the biggest moments.
Well, I think there's like two different silos here. There's the one silo of people who will watch tonight who can't tell you what icing is, don't know what a cross-check is. They're just like, hey, there's weird political tensions right now for whatever reason between America and Canada, and we have booing of national anthems.
I don't think there's really a for whatever reason. I think we know the reason.
We know the reason. I don't know why that is happening. It's, I guess, why I'm saying for whatever reason. I don't know where that
Tariffs, and they want Canada
Well, no,
to be
I know.
the
I understand that. I just am saying I don't understand why that. I digress. Anyways, there's a silo of people who don't care about hockey who are going to watch for those reasons tonight. Then there's the silo of people who are genuinely excited for this. Now, everything you said is 100% spot on, but also incorrect at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So this largely doesn't mean, like, when I'm a Four Nations champion, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. What captivated so many people on the hockey side of this the first time that they played on Saturday night is that we haven't seen this in a really long time in hockey. So they used to play in the Olympics. The NHL guys would go and play. The NHL got rid of that because they didn't want their guys getting hurt. They didn't want them gone for a month. We got to shut down the season. The Winter Olympics is in the middle of the year. It's not like the NBA where you go to the Summer Olympics and it's after your season is done. It's right in the middle of the season. And so the NHL said, nah, we're not doing that crap anymore. So it's been a long time since hockey fans have been able to watch this and see this. Connor McDavid has been one of the best players in the NHL for basically a decade now. He's never played an international game with Sidney Crosby because there's no top-level Canadian, there's no tournaments, there's nothing going on. These guys don't play in the Olympics. Now, that's going to change. I think it's whenever the next Winter Olympics is. They've gone back on that decision, and these guys will start playing again. But that's where it does mean something. Now, the Four Nations thing, like, who knows what this turns into? But this is about the pride of the two countries that has turned into a massive rivalry. And one of the greatest hockey games of all time was the gold medal game between USA and Canada in the Vancouver Olympics.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it went to overtime, and Sidney Crosby scored the golden goal, and he won it. And he was a Canadian hero for scoring that goal. And we, as hockey fans, we've just been robbed of this. Like, imagine not getting to see Team USA at the top level play, and you wouldn't get, LeBron playing with Anthony Edwards or whoever the young wave of stars is. is we've been robbed of this as sports fans. And so it is a little meaningless because it's a made-up tournament in the middle of the season. But this kind of stuff, like for Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid, the two young faces of the teams, this kind of stuff's going to stick on your legacy for the rest of your career.
Really?
It absolutely
So
will.
if USA loses tonight, it's
Yes.
going to be like, hey, Matthews, you can't do it for
The Canadians
Leafs.
will say, hey, nice win, but hey, we still own you. We won the gold medal game. We're still the best nation in hockey. Like they're gonna run their mouth on that. And Connor McDavid's got a little bit of a can he win the big one vibe about him. He's that right now in hockey.
He got
and
to the Stanley Cup.
if he loses again tonight, that narrative will continue to fuel. That's why it's like it doesn't largely mean anything. You're right on that, but it does to the hockey community of like it's USA, it's Canada. I don't care if it's a made-up tournament or not.
I'm thinking of Matt Snyder, our guest yesterday from CBS Sports, who admitted on the air he's a lifelong Indiana Pacers fan because he grew up in the Reggie Miller heyday. And one of the things he hates is the ring culture stuff and how it's like, oh, we didn't win a title, you suck. And it's like, well, that's not true. There's a lot of really great seasons that are memorable. They don't always end in championship. And you just said something right there that I just think I'm planting the flag. I'm never moving off the take. The idea that somebody would say Connor McDavid can't win the big one.
Can't win the big one.
After getting to the big one is...
But he didn't win it. He got there, but he didn't win it.
So was the conference final a big one?
Not big enough. It's the medium one.
okay,
That's
all right.
he can win the medium one. He can't win the big one.
Imagine you, everyday guy, getting to the championship of literally anything you sign up to get into. And then somebody after you lose goes, yeah, too bad you can't win a big one. What do you mean?
Hey.
I was in the championship.
I got all the way there. Doesn't matter. Didn't win it. Game 7. What'd you do? Didn't win.
What do you think this is going to draw today?
I think the
Are
numbers
they going to get to
pretty big.
double-digit millions? Does this get to 10 million?
I don't think so.
Really? Because the other one peaked at 5.
It did. It also was a Saturday night. And the only criticism I have of this,
Yeah.
now I don't know what the NBA is going to do tonight and what the numbers will look like. Why wasn't this game last night?
Agreed.
Yeah, there's a real dead
So
period
they played their
going on
last
right
game.
now.
I think the last round robin games were, if I'm not mistaken, on Monday. I think Monday was the last time that they played. You give them a day off. You play the championship on Wednesday.
Oh,
Like,
hockey extending off their break.
Well, it's not
How
even
about
just-
that? How
I
very
mean,
NBA of them.
It's dumb. It's really dumb. But the NBA is also back tonight, and I don't know what their viewership numbers will be, but they have a TNT doubleheader.
Hockey's going to trounce the NBA.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm not
there's
saying that it won't, but you got Celtics and Sixers.
There's 12 games. It's a
What's
full
your-
slate of NBA
Dude, the
action.
Sixers are terrible.
I know. I'm just saying there's another sporting event on. What else was on last night?
College hoops.
College
And
hoops.
And
one
then
NBA
Lakers
game.
Hornets
But
game
the Lakers Hornets game
that was
wasn't
League
on.
Pass.
It was a League Pass game.
League
It wasn't
Pass.
on national television,
No.
and so you could watch it if you got League Pass. But that's why I was sitting at home last night. I was watching Oregon Iowa, but if you're not an Oregon fan or an Iowa fan, I don't know why the hell you would have watched that game. It wasn't that entertaining, and so I think they missed an opportunity there. But I think the number will be big. It's an awesome moment for the sport, and it's really cool that people. I'm a big tent guy. Come on into my tent. Enjoy the game tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's a stupid question I shouldn't be asking at this point because we're over, but I still I hate doing the old cliche radio guy, dumb hockey person thing. I just don't get why is icing a thing? Why can't they just play it?
Because it's easier to score. Are you serious? It's just like soccer. It's just
I mean,
like
you can't. Then you would
offsides
just
in
have
soccer.
cherry picking. Essentially, you could just have a guy down on the other end of the ice, just waiting by the goal. And the second you steal the puck, you send it down to him, and you got a one-on-one.
The owner of the Kings suggested they play cherry picking basketball.
Well, cherry picking
Luka and
is
LeBron
legal.
were doing that early in the game last night. It felt like they were just throwing length of the court passes to each other for dunks.
Did you see Luka running? He looks so out of shape. He's just like
He's fat again, huh?
Well, no, he just looks like he's running back into shape. And there's a lot of heavy breathing involved with that.
The other aspect of this too, just to tie it in for those who don't remember the story, and I don't remember if we talked about it or not, but there's a sympathetic side for the USA where Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Gaudreau were two American-born hockey players, well known in the hockey community. They died this summer. They were hit by a drunk driver.
Oh, that's right. They were biking.
They were at their sister's
remember
wedding.
that.
They had a
That's
few
right.
beers, and they're like, "We're not going to get behind the wheel of a car." And so they were just riding their bikes around their hometown.
A drunk driver hit
and
him,
a drunk
right?
driver hit him and killed him. And so they have the Johnny's jersey hanging in the locker room, and they're doing this whole thing for
That's
Johnny.
emotional.
And so there's an emotional tie in there as well. Those guys were, I think Johnny was 20.
They were really young, yeah.
And Matthew, both 20, 21,
Imagine
22, somewhere in
losing
that
your
range.
siblings at your wedding too.
It was their sister's wedding.
I
That's
think
what they
it
were
was
there
the day
for.
of or the day before.
It was the
their
night
sister's
before.
wedding,
I think
yeah.
they were all out on the town having
That's
a good
right.
time, riding their bikes around town, their hometown, and they got hit and killed by a
Do you
drunk
even
driver.
have the wedding at that point? How do you have the wedding?
I don't know. I don't know how you go on from that.
Yeah, that's tough. You kind of have to, but it's a very somber occasion because how can you reschedule? That's just terrible.
Corn
Yeah.
Pop, are you going to watch this?
Terrible.
You're not much of a hockey
Are you
guy.
ever going to not call me Corn? Oh my God.
What?
I like it, but I don't. Like it's just like, am I really just that? Like I am more than Corn Pop.
I
But
know, you're Schultzy.
I'll be watching it tonight. Yeah. But there's other than what the Blazers, like in maybe a TNT national game. Yeah. I'm going to be watching some hockey tonight.
I mean, this will get the majority of the eyeballs tonight, and I can't wait. It should be a good game. I don't expect 3 fights in 9 seconds.
They're getting a moment.
Like we got.
Yeah, it's happy for the sport.
It's good. I hope the game lives up to the hype. I hope we get a tight, competitive, back and forth, 1-goal game late that keeps you on the edge of your seat for 3 periods.